Welcome to Little Talks with Littlefield Agency, the podcast where we dive into the latest digital trends for B2B marketing. I'm your host, Steve Roop, and with me today are my guest,
Sam Littlefield.
We are experts in the field of digital marketing. Segment 1 today, and the topic, the rise of virtual event marketing. Virtual events have become increasingly popular due to the ongoing pandemic. Can you tell us more about how B2B businesses can leverage virtual events to reach their target audience?
Absolutely. Virtual events such as webinars and virtual conferences provide a unique opportunity for B2B businesses to connect with their target audience in a digital setting. Not only do virtual events allow for a wider reach, but they also provide valuable insights and data through analytics. Additionally, virtual events can be recorded and repurposed for future use, increasing their ROI.
Segment 2, and the topic of Segment 2, the importance of artificial intelligence in B2B marketing. Artificial intelligence is becoming more prevalent in the world of marketing. How can B2B businesses utilize AI to improve their marketing efforts?
Well, AI can be a powerful tool for B2B businesses when it comes to personalization, automation, and data analysis. For example, AI can be used to personalize email campaigns, analyze customer data to inform targeted marketing efforts, and automate repetitive tasks. Additionally, AI can also assist in lead generation and sales forecasting. By implementing AI, B2B businesses can improve their efficiency and make data-driven decisions.
Well, that's all for today's episode of Little Talks with Littlefield Agency. Thank you to our guests for making their insights on the latest digital trends in B2B marketing. Be sure to tune in next week for more discussions on how to take your digital marketing efforts to the next level. Thanks for listening. And scene.
Cut.
Okay, so that was a weird intro, right?
Hello, everybody.
Different.
Good morning.
Welcome to actual Little Talks with, this is Roop, and with me is not my guest, it's my co-host.
But your co-host, Sam.
Sammy Littlefield. So what we did this week is we had ChatGPT create
our podcast
script, and we thought we would read it verbatim. And I basically gave it input. If you listened to last week, we talked a lot about what it is, so we're not going to recover that.
By the way, I bet a lot of our listeners right now are kind of bummed that this is the end of the podcast. They're like, man, that's the quickest
we really like that.
Podcast.
That format
Sorry,
was fantastic. Yeah. So we ran it through, and I asked it to write a script, actually with 3 segments, and I killed one of the segments just because it was long, and it was about social media. It was good. But I asked it to write a 3-segment podcast for 2 people that are around B2B marketing. And I told it the name of the podcast was Little Talks with Littlefield Agency and all that. And this is what it kicked out. And I would say we read it somewhat robotic and sarcastically, but it wasn't bad. It was fine. I think the difference...
Concise and to the point.
Yes. I think the difference is between like what it would kick out and what we normally do is it lacked any kind of human touch, which is, of course, going to be the case for now with AI. But... anyhow, we thought we would try that, start off with it, and that's what actually today's topics is. We're not going to cover any little bits again this week. We thought there's more to talk about with ChatGPT. It's still moving at lightning pace.
Yeah, and I've got a new word to coin this week,
yeah.
Which I will here in a little bit. But we've got some fun things to announce.
We just thought we're gonna do some agency news real quick, and then we're gonna jump back into ChatGPT and just some bullet pointed things and some riffing on stuff that's happened in the last week we think's cool.
So we have some avid, consistent and persistent listeners that we truly appreciate. One of those listeners, we actually just hired, Roop, and welcome to the Littlefield Agency team, Taylor Bartley.
Insert clap through here.
Insert the clap. Taylor Bartley.
Insert clap through here.
Anyway, Taylor's going to join us on February 6th. She actually has some great agency experience down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, very much in the B2B realm. She just moved back to Tulsa. She's born and raised here. And she's joining us on February 6th as a content writer. So
if you want hired at Littlefield, you listen to the podcast and let us know.
By the way, I will give her major kudos. When she came up here to tour the space, get a feel, start kind of an interview process, I said, hey, that's Steve Roop. And she goes over to Roop's corner desk and straight up chats about the podcast.
Yeah.
And Roop was
in detail
blushing.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't believe it.
I love it. So, Taylor, we're excited to have you. We appreciate you listening.
You can stop listening now. You're hired.
I really hope she doesn't.
Me
because
too.
No one else listens up here. So, Taylor, please continue listening. Roop, you have an announcement.
Yeah, I somehow missed this
belated
announcement. My oldest son, Ben Roop, attending the University of Arkansas, going into his senior year. I guess it kind of is in his senior year now. his birthday was last Wednesday when we did the podcast, and we have been kind of falling out of the habit of doing birthdays because it's been a while since there's been a lot of them at once. I didn't think of it, and you shamed me into say, hey, wasn't today's Ben's birthday after we turned off the mic? So
yes.
I don't think Ben listens, but in the future when he decides to go back and listen to all his dad's boring podcasts, happy birthday, Ben.
Hey, I love that.
Happy 22nd.
Wow, the big 22. Happy birthday, Ben.
He's getting up there.
Last week we had a couple of nice client outings. One of them, we had a Ditch Witch shoot downtown that went really well. It was a little chillier, kind of cold, some cold mornings.
It's a bit of a secret shoot, right?
Secret shoot,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday. Can't go into detail, but stay tuned.
It's really cool.
Overall,
it's a really, really, really cool thing.
Super cool. The team loved it. It was some long days, but some great days.
Real cool concepts they've got going with that.
And then on the flip of it, on Thursday, Mike from Grasshopper drove all the way down to visit us, and we had a hell of a time. I mean, you guys conquered a lot.
Yeah,
in your meetings.
Mike was here to talk HubSpot, which I like talking about, and we did cover a lot, and we got a lot done, and then we had a nice lunch at Barcera.
And chicken sandwich was out of this world.
The way to go.
Yeah, absolutely out of this world. Anyway, some just really nice quality time with Mike.
And we're going to see Mike again here in about a month, I think.
And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm not even going to tease it.
Yeah.
Mike's joining us on the
Mike's
podcast. Chelsea, I know you're not listening, but he's joining us. We've carved out time. We're figuring out a date, but we cannot wait to have him. Mike was actually just recently on a podcast that he sent. It was an hour and 20 minutes long.
Oh, my gosh. What
Mike,
a warrior.
full transparency, I did not watch the whole thing. However, though, Roop's freaking doppelganger was next to. I watched about 10 minutes of it. It was great, but Mike's handles himself well. I think it's gonna be a good time.
You know what that guy was? You know, like you remember there was Garth Brooks, and then for about a year he had the rock and roll alter ego Chris Gaines. That guy is my Chris Gaines.
This was a punk rock version of Roop, and it was. It was uncanny. It was pretty great. So, Mike, we enjoyed the time. So thankful for our clients that visit us here in Tulsa.
Yes,
just makes for a great day. So
yes, it does. That was a good day.
Okay, now we're not going to call these segments.
No,
that's a very fancy term.
It's literally bullet. If you're watching, there it is. It's bullet points. We're just going to go through some bullet points from last week. Can I do the first one?
Yeah,
I'm obsessed with this one, especially with my bad knee today.
And I can't. We can't divulge where we got the first information.
Yeah.
The guy that sent that to me asked that it's private.
But if you think about this a little bit, it'll make sense. So we've been starting to see where ChatGPT and AI it has opportunity and potential for many different industries and markets and things. Every day there's something new and some new utilization of it. And one I had not considered was the health industry. And it made sense to me. In fact, I watched a video of a AI surgeon performing, I think it was a heart transplant on a pig. And it was successful, and the pig's alive, and everything's fine. And it made me think: do I want a human? If I had the option between a human or AI and a robot doing surgery on me, which again I'm going to have, I don't know what's going on with my knee, Sam. It's possible. It could be in this position.
Roop's limping around.
I'm limping around. Which one would I pick? And I think I used to think, no, I want a human. I don't trust a robot. But the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? The robot's not going to be tired. I don't know if he had a fight with his wife last night. I don't know if he's drunk on the job. All the things you hear that happen.
Be rough.
I thought, maybe I do want the robot. And the robot was very successful. But the thing that really got me here was, we always talk about life expectancy and health expectancy, all this kind of stuff. One of the ways that works is when screenings happen and you find things before they're a problem.
Yes. And
I also watched this whole thing about this group of brain surgeons that were given some x-rays, and they were told to identify the tumors in these x-rays. There were tumors in some of these patients. It took them about 50 minutes to complete, and they turned in their work, and I think it was 54 or maybe 58% accurate, which is a little better than half. It's not great if you're talking about brain tumors. They gave the same x-rays to AI and had it scan it, and it took it 10 minutes, and it was 94% accurate.
Wow.
So if you think about its ability to pre-screen and to recognize things that maybe a doctor misses, and to then kind of tether that to other symptoms or other things happening in your medical history or in your body or whatever, and say, oh, that plus this equals this plus a symptom of that usually means a percentage of, the ability to pre-screen and give us healthier and longer life and happier life in that time, quality of life, is pretty high. And I had never even considered this kind of thing. I was like, oh, how would AI affect the health industry? Oh, easily.
This report that Roop's referring to, is, right now, I don't know what the average life expectancy is in the United
It's
States.
85.
Okay, so and that's great, by the way.
Yeah.
This is talking 100 to 115 years old eventually.
People that are alive right now.
In our world right now. But what I think about, Roop, imagine like I woke up this morning and I showered and then I got on the scale. It's kind of just a morning routine.
That's what I do.
I don't fluctuate crazily on a day-to-day basis. But like
You want to know?
What if like part of that is there's something, some crazy mirror, and it literally scans your body real quick, and it's like, oh, hey, you know what?
There's a lump here that you should look at.
Yep,
yeah.
Or there's something that's just a little off here. Like that's the future.
It sounds crazy, but if you think about it, it just makes good sense. I was blown away by this one. Do you want to do the next one?
Let me take the second one.
Okay. Because you thought you'd got one.
I totally thought I outsmarted Rube.
This was not part of the.
Literally had it on.
Hey, I didn't see this in the Hustle. This just showed up in my news feed.
Jeez. Okay. Well, this morning I was educated via the Hustle. ChatGPT passes an MBA exam given by a Wharton professor.
Yep.
Okay. Right. Wharton School of Business in Pennsylvania. Very, very, very esteemed.
They're tough cookies up there.
It's the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
And what the interesting part is, basic math questions, like consider like 6th grade math, ChatGPT, the AI, struggled with it. Mm-hmm. However, though, the responses in the sense of like the business realm and like an actual MBA and growing your career were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so it shows like there's some holes here that we can poke into. But overall,
those are just the things to work on.
And there was no prep, right? People study and work for years in their MBA. 1 to 2 years for an MBA program, sometimes 3.
You can kind of see how ChatGPT in these different industries, one of the main kind of through lines is that it compresses time.
And so I was going to say, we don't need to read all these bullets. You just stole my word, except in a different way.
Oh wait, what was your word?
Compresses time equals efficiency.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that over the last week since we last podcasted. We looked at it. We talked about it last week as a software tool, which I very much still am aligned with that. But efficiency.
Yeah.
And again, it can't say 7 times 7, right? 49. And I think it knows that, but it missed on some cues in the Wharton example. But use ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, etc., to help make you smarter as a human. And it's for sure smarter than us. But, man, use it to efficiently get through your day and do some great work.
Yeah,
right?
Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, like I look at this in our realm with our clients, and we alluded to it last week, so I won't go into detail. But there's a lot of opportunities for you to springboard off some great ideas or thoughts based off just, insert this, and, oh, man, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah. I was talking to our old friend Brandon's here editing.
Yeah, but hey, Brandon Bergen, it's nice to have you up here.
It is.
We love having Brandon.
And he's
a
professional filmmaker. He's made, and I've been to a premiere of his. So he makes actual
he's
actual
in the
movies.
Theater. Yeah, sure.
Actual movies. So you can. And by the way, you're welcome to look those up. I'm sure they're on Amazon, iTunes, and all your favorite streaming services.
Yes, Brandon Bergin.
There you go.
Great guy.
So. This, I think it was called The Sleepover. Was the Sneakover?
It's
the Sneakover. Yeah, watch that one. That one's good. Superhero based. Anyhow, I was talking to him yesterday about this, and I said, "Hey, man, if you have any script ideas you haven't fleshed out yet, you might see what Chat could do to help you out." And he was completely blown away by this. And we started talking. I said, "We're probably weeks, months away from some studio announcing in production the first AI generated script, 100% generated script. And whatever comes. It'll probably be a comedy, would be my guess, because you want to be able to kind of make fun of the areas where there's problems. But that's coming. That's going to be a thing." And we'll go back to our bullet points real quick. So that the Chat passed the MBA exam by the Wharton professor. It has also created resumes and was offered jobs. So it's smart enough to graduate college and get a job.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Read us one more off of your favorite.
Okay. I have 2 favorites that are left.
Go for it.
Well, one is that universities are concerned of beginning to block this, which they're trying with TikTok. Universities' response to things they can't handle is to block it, which I kind of get, but it's also kind of short-sighted because you really can't block things anymore. That's just not how it works. What I thought was fun about it, and I get why they would, right? And I think there's ways around this. If you're a teacher and you think about it for a minute, just have the student come up and read the presentation or do whatever live, and then, they don't have rely on the chat. They have the tool there. But some teacher did get smart about this. He's using it to grade his homework. He's like, if you can't beat him, I will join them. So like he's assigning homework, and he's using the chat to more efficiently and quickly grade homework. And I thought, you know what, good for him. That's clever. Okay, so the last one, just the very last one. I'll skip those. There's one about songwriters, and there's one's about real estate.
Yep.
Those could show up in the future. Google that if you're interested, or you probably just read about it in the news.
Microsoft, baby.
Microsoft. This is what we were waiting for. People to start investing in this, and Microsoft is starting to invest billions of dollars into this.
With a B.
This is changing quickly. I actually entered for our next Little Bits. It'll go out February 1st. An article yesterday. We kind of corralled them over the month to go out about Google's response to this. And Google, they had an all hands on deck emergency meeting
and laid off a bunch of people.
Yeah, over the last couple of weeks about how do we respond to this, because it's kind of a threat to search to their search engine, and their employees were quite concerned. The ones that were left, I guess. And but the fire reps were like, we're fine. We have a brand to maintain. We don't want to damage it by jumping in too soon and all this kind of thing. But I think that was just posturing, because this morning I read, nope, they're ready to start showing you how they can tie this into Google search results and make everything better. And that was just within a 24-hour period. They went from, no, we're cool, to, hey, we've already worked something up. Let's see what we can do with it.
Yes.
That's how fast it's moving. And someone said, I think Katie Kite said this. She said she'd read some article that you can either fight it, and if you're one of the businesses or folks fighting it, you're likely going to be out of business in the coming years.
I read that same article.
Or you can
lean into it,
adapt it, figure out how to leverage it to best make your business work smarter and more efficiently, and look forward to a bright future. And I think that's probably accurate. Yeah.
Well, and here we are 43 years later. That's what we've done for 43 years.
Adapt.
This is just at an amazingly expedited rate.
Yes.
And this is exactly why we have this podcast. We talk about this. We talk about this internally. We have all the discussions. You and Rocco, how many discussions have you had on this in the last 2 weeks? 1,000.
1,000, yeah.
Yeah.
We talk about it almost nonstop.
But it's good, because we are starting to really lean into this as an agency. I just, our Magnet CEO Network group of independently owned agencies, I actually forgot to tell you this yesterday, Roop. I just joined a ChatGPT AI forum.
Oh.
And it is a monthly forum. You can blast emails with questions, etc., and then we chat. GPT,
I knew it.
I couldn't help myself.
Oh, goodness.
But anywho, so I love the stance and the direction that you took today, just in having this populated by ChatGPT.
I was curious.
And
that's the thing, guys.
This is fun.
The curiosity is endless with it. So create an account when it's not down and it's up, and you can get into it.
I've been able to get into it more this week.
I have too. They're close to rolling out the subscription. I've read. We'll probably see it by March.
Yeah,
if not sooner.
But
yeah, play with it. It's a lot. It's fun, of course. But then when you get done having fun with it, think about like your daily tasks and the things you're going through in a daily routine. And Chris, Chris Kaiser, our analytics guy here, is the best example of this, because he writes these really complicated, long Excel formulas to kind of make all the analytics that he does tie together and work. And so he's really started leaning into this. And instead of
efficiency.
Instead of spending 2 or 3 hours writing a formula, he'll get the chat to write it for him, and then he'll tweak it out as he needs to.
Yep.
And when there's a problem with one of his formulas, he'll ask chat to say, find the problem, so he doesn't have to wade through 2,000 lines of code. It's smart how he's using it, and I think that's a good example of how everybody should try to implement it in their day.
That's a great point. Roop, before we sign off, would you tell everyone what you're doing? So Roop is off tomorrow and Friday?
Yeah.
Roop, what are you doing?
Well, Nellie's in town.
Like the Nellie.
The Nellie.
Nellie, man.
It's going to get hot in here. Nellie is in town.
Please don't take off all your clothes.
No, I probably won't. Carrie's going with me. We'll see what happens. So, yeah, Nellie's going to be at River Spirit, my favorite casino in town. Nellie's going to be River Spirit, and Carrie and I did this a couple months ago when John Mulaney, the comedian, was in town. And they give me, because don't ask why, they give me free rooms during the week, which is kind of weird. But these concerts keeps coming through during the week. So tomorrow. It's
fantastic.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to, I took the day off. I run a couple errands and stuff. And then we're going to check into the River Spirit Casino, which when you're there, you feel like you're out of town, which is crazy.
I mean, really, it's a true staycation.
It's really, really good. And then we're going to have dinner at Ruth Chris.
Love it.
And then we're going to see Nellie.
I love it.
And then we'll probably go drinking and making friends at the bar.
I love it.
And gamble.
I love it.
Yep, and then sleep it off till noon or so Friday.
I'm so jealous. I'm just so jealous. That is going to be awesome. I think that's a great way to spend some time with that wonderful wife of yours. And we can't wait to hear about it next week on the podcast.
Yeah.
Nelly, dude. So I've seen him with Florida Georgia Line. Guy still can perform.
Yeah, you had mentioned that he still had it, which makes me happy.
And that was a couple years ago, so he's a little bit older now, but I bet
I bet Nelly's gonna have a good time.
Yeah, he's got endless amount of hits. He'll entertain us. And
it'll
we're
be
really
good.
close. I'm a little nervous because we're really close to the stage. We're like in the 4th or 5th row.
Why are you nervous? That's amazing.
I don't like that kind of attention on me by the artist performing. I don't want
Dude, you're gonna be able to like fist bump him and like
Probably.
point to him. And he's gonna like maybe lock eyes with you or lock eyes
You
with
do not
Carrie.
know how out of control Carrie can get at a show like
Oh,
this.
I can only imagine.
So I will see what happens.
Buddy, we'll have a great time.
We will.
To our listeners, thank you. Today was a fun one, Rube. Nice job.
Yeah, thank you.
And we will we'll catch you next week with the latest stories on Nelly's concert and also the latest digital trends as we approach February.
Here we come.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Adios.
Bye.